Here's Brody Brazil.
As you likely know, I make a lot of Howard Terminal videos here on my YouTube channel. And most of them deal with the technicalities of this project, kind of the X's and O's, finance, politics, design, updates, news, information, but I rarely ever discuss why I actually support this project, why I put so much time and effort into advocating for it. So that's the point of this video. I've got a bunch of different reasons why. I'm not sure you'll relate to all of them. Maybe you never even thought of some of these before, but I felt like it needed just a little bit of explanation. And these, by the way, are in no particular order. First off, I have very fond memories of Oakland Baseball, right? I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s here in the East Bay. I remember what it was like that the small market Oakland Athletics were among the biggest thing across Major League Baseball. Some of it had to do with the players. Some of it had to do with the Coliseum environment. I mean, it was just a very exciting time. I know this region is still capable of being that. It's been an interesting course of twists and turns across the last couple decades, no question. But I know what this region is capable of. I remember what it was like. I understand that some young people, they don't have that experience, or if you're not a Bay Area native, you also may not remember what it was like here, but I know what it's like, and I truly believe that stadium can largely bring a lot of that back. It still does exist. Next thing I want to talk about here, this is a significant portion of my career. I just talked about the personal aspect, recollections, the sentimental side of it, but half of what I do, at least half of what I do for NBC Sports is covering the Oakland A's, the other half being the San Jose Sharks. And so a lot of people have asked me, well, what happens to you if the A's are not in Oakland? To sum it up briefly and to keep me out of getting in trouble, because I really don't know, that is the answer. I don't know what happens for me next if the A's are not in Oakland. And that's beyond, again, the personal side. I'm only talking about the professional side. I have absolutely no clue. So I don't even want to speculate. I've not really let myself go that far yet down the path of thinking or worrying or wondering. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But just to know that I've been covering this team since the early 2000s, and in the last 13 or so years, I've been heavily, surrounded by the green and gold. So yeah, there is that reason personally, no question. I also want to point out here, beyond the selfish reasons, the city of Oakland and the county of Alameda, they stand to greatly benefit from this project. And it's not just in revenue, but also resources. Think about this site right now. Howard Terminal reportedly generates about $70,000 of property tax annually, right? That goes to local government funds. But if this thing and when this thing is fully built out, it'll go from $70,000 to more than $10 million per year going to the city of Oakland and the county of Alameda, right? And that's just the financial side of this. How about the fact that these 55 acres all of a sudden become unlocked to citizens of the East Bay, parks that are open and free to everybody? You can go enjoy these 24/7, 365. This is a beautiful space just north of Jack London Square that's not accessible right now, that greatly would be in the future. And so we talked about tax revenue, but also think about just the mood, the vibe around Oakland to keep this team. And also what it would do for public services, schools, all that stuff. It is a trickle effect of what this project could bring the region. Not just the city of Oakland, not just the county of Alameda. Honestly, the whole Bay Area, but especially targeted right here in the rendering that's depicted. So I promise you, I'm seeing this, and this is one of the reasons why. It's not just selfish reasons. I see a great benefit to the entire area. I'm also advocating for this ballpark project, and I'm pushing for it especially right now because it has been a 20-year process, and I do realize that has taken an emotional toll and a toll on patience among many. They get a little fatigued by it. Okay, is this happening? Does this vote mean we're good? Does it mean we're not good? It's been a lot to sort through, and follow. Like, you really have to be diligent to be up to date on this because there have been so many twists and turns. And it's what the A's are working hard on right now to fight through this kind of final push to get everything approved. But I do understand if you've been a fan of this team for a long time, you've been following this saga for a long time. And that's why I really want to help people kind of refocus, pay attention right here, right now. This is the most critical A's season in their history in Oakland. And I'm not talking about baseball on the field. I'm talking about how this project can get resolved and the A's can get this new ballpark. So again, why am I supporting this so greatly? Why am I advocating? Because this time is important. If you're going to pay attention, if you've ever wanted to pay attention, now is the time to do it. I also want to use my platform to that extent before it's too late. And speaking of platforms, I'm not going to get into the whole conversation of who covers Howard Terminal, who doesn't cover Howard Terminal, who is supposed to be partial about Howard Terminal and is not. Let me just say it like this. I can only speak for myself. I'm not a journalist, right? In my current role, who I work for, how it operates. I'm allowed to have opinions. This is my opinion, personally, professionally, as a member of our society. I think this is a really good project. It's going to bring so many benefits. Not going to fix every single problem in the city of Oakland or the county of Alameda. It's going to do so much, though, that you would greatly want this versus status quo and not having it at all, right? So I want to use my platform before it's too late. There's no question there is another option out there for the A's and a city that they could call home that is not Oakland. And so I don't want to find out the hard way of, well, I didn't really emphasize my efforts. I just kind of sat back and let things go. I have to do my best to use the platform I have here on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, on television, oh yeah, to get the message out, to at least inform people to make the right decisions before it's too late. I also think, looking forward, I've saved this for the latter end of my presentation. It's not really about me. Maybe it's not really about you. I'm not sure where you stand in life right now. Maybe you're a parent. Maybe someday you will be, or maybe you won't be. That's fine. But future generations of Oaklanders, future generations of people from the East Bay, future baseball fans, they deserve this. I mean, we had the Coliseum in my age group of 40 plus. We got to see what it was like, but now we've got to see it aged and needing replacement, and hopefully we can be the generation that ushers in something new, because the next generation deserves to have an exciting platform to not only watch their baseball team, but also something to be proud about, something to brag about, something to call your second home. That's what Howard Terminal could be in so many different ways, whether there's a baseball game there that night or not. This is a brand new neighborhood. This is a brand new attraction for Oakland. So we could talk about it in a baseball sense, yes. We could also just talk about it in being a resident of the area sense too. Future generations, they deserve a project like this. I would also hopefully like to look back at these times, years down the road. And you're thinking about, I'm making this video, why am I supporting Howard Terminal so much? When this project, hypothetically, is said and done and completed, or at least there's a shovel in the ground and they're moving forward on it, I know these are hard times. They're stressful. When you think about what could happen versus what may not happen versus the obstacles in the way, like, it's difficult. Anything that is worth doing is usually difficult to do. The easy thing and the right thing are rarely the same thing. Right? So this is a difficult but worthwhile process. Once it comes to completion, someday you'll kind of forget all this stuff. I mean, yeah, oh, that's right. It was hard to do, and there was a lot of meetings, and there was a lot of information to sort through. There was a lot of public voicing of opinion. All this stuff right now will kind of get instantly forgotten. Case in point, look across the bay at Giants fans. Getting from Candlestick Park to what was then Pacific Ballpark, Pac Ballpark, that was no easy process by any means. In fact, at one point in the early 90s, Giants fans thought their team had played a last game in San Francisco. They thought for sure that winter the team would be relocating to Tampa. It came that close. But you don't hear a lot of Giants fans remembering that on an everyday basis. The new ballpark, the new setting, kind of washed all that away. And so, yeah, I'm telling you, that's how exactly this would play out. 20 years down the road, you're watching a game at Howard Terminal. You remember these times right now, early 2020s and 2010s, as being difficult, but you'll remember them as being successful if this project happens. So those are a multitude of reasons why I support Howard Terminal. And again, I want to be very clear. Like I said before, some out there are playing one side or the other, or it's not very clear what side they're playing, or they're supposed to be down the middle, but it does seem like they're playing a certain side. I'm here to tell you straight up, this is who I am. This is what I'm supporting. Those were the reasons why. I just want to make that very clear.